So hello students, here in this video I am going to introduce with this machine which is known as UTM, Universal Test Machine. So before going to give any demonstration of this machine, let's have a 360-degree view of this machine. Okay, so this one is the front. So here almost we got the 360-degree view of this machine. Now I am going to explain each of this part and what are the function of those part. So in this machine actually we are able to do the test of tensile test, compressive test, as well as some transverse or bending test. Okay, so gradually I will tell you how to do those tests. So right now from this top end, this is known as the top cross head. These two are the cross heads. So this is the top cross head and this is the bottom cross head, and within this cross head, if you see carefully that some jaws are fixed. The fixing arrangement of the fixture like jaws are provided both in the cross head. Okay, here you find two number of jaws. These jaws can be opened by operating this hand wheel. Okay, so if we operate this hand wheel anti-clockwise, now see these jaws are gradually opening in the action of inserting towards top. Okay, in the action of inserting towards top. Now these jaws, if we rotate or release this, actually this hand wheel is spring acted. If we rotate it anti-clockwise and we release this force, then it automatically comes its extreme bottom condition. As you can see, this is the closest portion of these two jaws. Whereas you will also found another two jaws which are in extreme open condition when the operating hand wheel, which has been fixed in the bottom cross head, is on the extreme anti-clockwise conditions. So if we just rotate this bottom cross-head hand wheel clockwise, what will happen? See, right now I am just operating this hand wheel clockwise, as well as the jaws is come closer, okay, to each other. These two jaws are come closer to each other. Okay, so in this condition, to open these two jaws, we have to rotate this hand wheel anti-clockwise. Whereas if we release this one, that's in ideal condition, these jaws are in the extreme closest condition. Okay, now in the other hand, in the bottom cross head, you will find that in the ideal condition of the hand wheel, these jaws are extreme open condition. These are simply opposite in axle. Similarly, if we want to get closer the two jaws, we have to rotate it clockwise. Okay. Now whenever we release this hand, as per the spring action of this hand wheel, it will just get its previous position by initial position where the two jaws are open. So that's mean at where we have to fix it by operating this hand wheel according to our requirement of gripping the specimen. We have to fix this hand wheel. Okay, so for that one, as you can see, this one is called the lock nut, position lock nut of this hand wheel. So after rotating this one, if we rotate, just a minute, if we rotate this lock nut, so we can, by rotating this lock nut, we can give a position of this, any expected position of this hand wheel. Okay, so as you can see that I am rotating this lock nut and lock its positions. Okay, so right now the position is locked. Whenever we release this locked, now the position is also locked for the jaws. Now if we release this lock, what will happen? See very carefully that the hand wheel also gets its ideal position. After releasing, as per its spring action, it will come its, see, so it's come its initial position. Whereas we don't need to lock this top crosshead operating hand wheel. Okay, because at its ideal condition, jaws are closer to each other. That means to its gripping side. Okay, after gripping, we need not to lock. That means first of all we open this one, we will put some specimen over there, and if we release this hand wheel, it automatically get gripped. Okay, and here the just opposite function of this hand wheel. Okay, now come to this section. This is known as the bed of this machine. This is known as the bed. Okay, slotted bed. As you can see, there are slots. These two rollers are the arrangement for bending test or transverse test. Okay, we can adjust this space between these two rollers. As you can see, it has been fixed with this nut and bolt arrangement. So by loosening this one and moving within this slot, we can get a required space or expected space between these two rollers, and within these two rollers we can place some specimen for doing the test, as well as we have to put some hammer or fix some hammer over here. Okay, as we can fix some hammer over here. I will show you what is the shape of the hammer for bending test, or the arrangement for bending test. Now you can see this is the arrangement for bending test. As you can see, there are the bolt thread has given, and it can be fixed over here. Okay, so if we insert it properly over here, and we can do this bending test with this arrangement. Okay, actually it should not be asked as hammer. Okay, sometimes we are just called it as hammer, but no hammering action is over there. Okay, so now see these two screws. Okay, here one screw, you can see these threads. Okay, and another screw is this one. Okay, and within these two screw, the bottom cross thread has been fixed. As you can see, this bottom cross thread can move within these two screw. Okay, now here two columns are there. These are This will be give the guide, as you can see at the top. See, some guide roller is also there. This will also give the guide for moving the top cross head. Okay, this is giving the one support on the top cross head, and it is also giving the guide which is taken from this screw through these roller bearings. Okay, for its movement, it can move upward. Okay, so one important thing I just want to share with you that this bottom cross head can move within this screw, and this movement is done only for the size adjustment or position adjustment for testing the specimen, whereas the load which has been given, that load is coming through this column to this up to this cross head. Okay, and this cross head can move upward direction. Actually, a fluid pressure is provided over there, and that pressure force will given the movement of this cross head in upward direction. That's mean whenever we give the fluid pressure, this cross head can only move upward. Okay, so as simple as that, see very carefully that this cross head is fixed with this column with the bed. As you can see, these are the fixed portion. Okay, that's mean whenever this cross head move upwards, at the same time the bed is also moving upwards. That's mean the bed and the top cross head can move upwards by the action of fluid pressure which is given through a pump. Okay, and that pressure is actually acting the load on the specimen. Okay, so right now if we place some specimen within these two jaws and give that fluid pressure, what will happen? As because this bottom cross head is fixed cross head at its required position. That's mean after moving this cross head within this screw as per our requirement size of this specimen or the position of the specimen, we can fix this cross head. Okay, no further movement will taken place. So this will be treated as fixed cross head, whereas this cross head can move. So if we place some specimen within these two cross head, and if this cross head is moving upwards and this one will be become fixed one, what will happen? The specimen will experience a tensile load. Okay, now whereas if we put some specimen over here, okay, now if we move this bottom cross head in downward direction, okay, right now see I am moving this one. How to move this one I will just tell you later how to move this one. Okay, so right now you see it carefully, the bottom cross head is coming in downward direction. Okay, see, so gradually it's comes in downward direction. Okay, so right now after our required position according to the specimen, say here are some specimen provided. Okay, and we by moving this bottom cross head we just bring the specimen come closer to it. Okay, and just touching condition. Okay, now if we start the pump which will give some fluid pressure, what will happen? As we just comes to know that this bed and the top cross head can move upward direction. What will happen? This will also move upward direction. This will become the fixed cross head, and what will happen? that force will upward force. The specimen whatever here in these two in this crosshead and within this bed, what will happen? The specimen will experience some compressive load. Okay, as well as when you are doing some bending test, as I show you, the arrangement will be fixed over here, and at a similar way as it will can moves upward direction, and this will be as fixed condition at any, we can fixed at any condition. So the specimen which is actually placed over here, that will experience the bending. Okay, so by this process these three tests can be done. Though there is a provision for extensometer, there is a provision for extensometer, but we don't have this one. Through the extensometer we can get that elongation or that change of length can be, that means the strain can be determined through that extensometer. Okay, but we don't have it. Whether we have some sensor, okay, as I just show you a 360-degree movement here. This is the arrangement which is fixed here, and I cannot show the inner configuration. Okay, inner configuration is quite difficult to show you. So whenever this bed and the top crosshead is moving by the action of fluid, this will also move, and through this one we can see the strain. Okay, that is change of length in the specimen, and that will actually transmit it through this control panel to the computer. That means we have some computer interface, so that we are getting all the data in the computer. Right now I want to show this one. This one is the control panel, and within this control panel the pump and the suction oil line and delivery oil line is provided. So here you can see, here in this control panel, here you can see this digital console, valves. Okay, these are the valves of the pump. One valve, this is the valve which is used to return the oil from the machine. Okay, and here you will also found another valve. If we open this valve, the flow of the valve will increased, and this valve is the path of this valve is from the pump discharge to the machine. Okay, that means oil from the pump is flowing through this valve to the machine. Okay, which will providing the load, whereas this valve is the oil which has been already flow to the machine, that also can be that is actually required to be written after doing the test. So by operating that wheel, the oil which is in the machine, already in the machine, that should be returned to the tank again. So for returning line, this valve is provided. Now you will find some buttons, these yellow buttons where up and down is written. By pressing, I just want to tell you one thing, these are all the pulsive type of button. If you push it, then the pulse is going on. If you release it, just that is the off condition. Okay, now this up is given this movement of this bottom crosshead to the upward direction. Right now I am pressing this up. Okay, now see it, the crosshead is moving upward direction. Okay, now if we press this downward button, as you can see, this crosshead is moving downwards. Okay, now this on button is for the pump. This is simply to start the pump. This on button is provided, and to stop this pump, this off button is provided. So actually here in this machine, the load which is provided over here through some, actually there are some load cell is actually provided bottom of this bed, so that we can get what the load which is converted by means of oil pressure, that load is showing over here. Okay, and here you will found these two number of display. One is for, as you can see, one is for load, another is for displacement. Okay, so load and displacement will be getting from here, as well as some other tabs is also present: freeze, steer load, reset, start or stop. Okay, so similar start and stop button is provided over here. Generally we are operating this start and stop button from here, but whereas something have to done through this one, that is called the reset and tear load at our defined position. Okay, which is the time that we have to, when we have to tear the load, when I have to reset the displacement, that we will explain in the experiment part. Okay, now actually, as you can see, there are 4 lines. Okay, as you can see it, that these two here within this 4 line, 2 lines is for the delivery line and 2 line is for the return line. Okay, delivery line means is delivered to the machine, and return means return from the machine, okay, to the tank, from the tank and to the tank. Okay, so these are the common things of this UTM machine. So this is the UTM machine. Before doing this test, we have to collect some informations about the specimen before doing this test and after doing this test. Now I just going to show you how to do this test, and through that procedure you will also can understand that how to do this test, how to collect the data from the computer, all everything. Okay, so I'll catch you in the next video.